Okay, it's here for this particular issue. Ebabeka wants no, it is exposing a deep truth that Ghana for be in him. And Cheddar has been portraying himself as one billionaire and as a Ghana's Elon Musk. His story from rag to riches, it has been questioned over time. Kamia say the truth will always prevail. And I say behind every successful story, there's some iota of truth. And I said, be that what the backing story, ultimately it is going to come out. It is here, iota and as that truth, it is what is really coming out. Now, this particular man has been trending the whole of yesterday. Now, the issue is simple. The UK courts enforced a certain ruling against him. In Ghana, so the Accra High Court have reinforced that same ruling. So, Menoka say Cheddar is trending everywhere. Now, we are even learning, per reporter, Ebane said, once this is enforced, if he doesn't do it, ultimately he'll be arrested, not just here in Ghana, but if he steps in UK too, he would be arrested. And subsequently, Nana Bediako Cheddar, waba out, ababe kasa, or the same baby Ababe Tuja trying to explain himself and telling Ghanaians say this whole thing one big misconception, and as one big mistake media forum are trying to paint him black. So what is the whole case about? Well, me did case I get you all the details involved, so you don't have to even go somewhere and check it. Let me break it down to you. In dry information about it was simple. Ninyane say an Accra High Court here in Ghana have enforced a rule, okay, against Cheddar. So, as you can see on the screen, so we FECT News, or say High Court enforces UK judgment against Cheddar over 14.9 million debts. Let me take it again. High Court enforces UK judgment against Cheddar over $14.9 million debt. Now, this is not the first time Cheddar is actually getting into trouble. He's got into trouble when a filling station agent or filling station petrol any fuel or amounting to somewhere over $1 million or so seats. MSM could pay more cost. Ultimately, GRA also stormed his firm and his businesses, saying that Cheddar was not paying taxes. And now a UK court the judgments are back against Cheddar, and now the High Court is enforcing it. So the whole issue has to do with a particular company and Cheddar. Now, this particular company, or maybe the first case against Cheddar in UK, or we need another case. The same case will reinforce that same case against Cheddar. So our company you're from Cola Holdings Limited. Now, so Cola Holdings Limited, basically a business, and I said more like a private company that is based in UK, a private company that is based in UK. Now, what they do here is that they actually invest or perhaps give investment to businesses and also to businessmen to go and do their business. So basically, in their financial company, they finance people. Into a Kamia said, Nana Bediako Cheddar no hotels in Yama Bibla we see, and some of the projects are all this company they've invested or they've given him money to finance some of his projects. Now, we don't know where the fight actually started. Whether Cheddar is refusing to pay the money with the interest, and I say, Scania the man do time also the repayment and we don't know the nitty-gritty of it. But that's sorry, I need a part to say this particular Cola Holdings Group Limited, and a Cola Holdings Limited, what we are learning is that company can sue Cheddar UK. And we need a 14.9 million judgment debt. And Omasamba Accra has say, baby, and the companies in the one, and Omasamba reinforce this particular win in the Accra High Court. And we into from UK court to the Accra High Court. Now, one of the things you also have to note is that this company, your company, a big company, I just say, they have over 250 employees across the globe. So the question is, what is really going on? Maybe really a bit of what really is happening here. If we are, Cheddar saw any response about or the video about was answer the press statement be braba. But quickly, also the Accra High Court or the High Court Commercial Division in Accra has enforced a judgment issued by the High Court of England and Wales against businessman Nana Kwame Bediako, popularly known as Cheddar, ordering him to pay $14.9 million debts plus interest and cost to Cola Holdings Limited, a UK-based company. So now we are learning, based on in some course, High Courts, the High Courts have once again told ɛyɛ Nana Bediako. So we lose case no ebiem ewa Accra ha. It's also 14.9 million to this particular Cola Holdings. Also, according to a notice published by Daily Graphic on Thursday, January 22nd, 2022, the foreign judgment was formally registered in Ghana on May 20th, 2025, following an application by Cola Holdings Limited to have the English court's decision recognized and enforced locally. In this company, your friend is saying, court case against Cheddar, no, they actually told the courts in England and also Wales say make provision and a judgments applicable here in Ghana. Also, the court has ordered Nana Kwame Bediako to pay $14.9 million as a principal judgment debts, together with interest at the rate of 8% per annum, calculated from January 23, 2022 until full payment is made. As of December 23, 2022, the accrued interest alone is is almost $1.1 million. In Cheddar judgment they make against him also to $14.9 million debts judgment to Cola Holdings. No, once he's not paid it, air corner every year be an interest because if you are not paying the money, that money and it could have been used as investment. So basically, if you are not paying and you delay in payment, which means interest, account. So yearly, which is per annum, interest account every year, 8% per annum. So 8% out of the $14.9 million a year about trim, because as of last year May and a ruling about say Cheddar was so tia into a year about trim, which means the interest alone Cheddar was so tia on top of the $14.9 million UK government and also the high court here in Accra so almost $1.1 million. Now also in addition, the court awarded $15,000 in legal fees to Cola Holdings Limited at the prevailing treasury exchange rate of 16.15 to the dollar. The total amount due, including interest and cost, translates to approximately 258 million Ghana cedis, according to figures contained in the court's notice. So we are learning, they are using the prevailing exchange rate to work, which is around 16 cedis.15 to $1 and to US dollar. Into calculating in near this kind of Ghana cedis more. Cheddar was so 258 million Ghana cedis alone. 258 million. Remember, say the legal fees account, the interest account. So Cheddar, that's why it's ye pa. Until somewhere by na man for ABC say, what is really going on? Edeben pa na the air koso. Edeben pa na air koso. What is really going on in Cheddar? Cheddar Babe Kasa. But let's take this particular part because Kamiako said Cheddar, he may even have his hotel seized. Or say the total sum remains subject to further increase as interest continues to accrue until debt is fully settled. The court also granted an order for substituted service, allowing the judgment to be served by posting copies of the respondent's residence at 13th Avenue, Lincoln, Osu, at the High Court notice board, and through a one-time publication in the Daily Graphic. The notices are to remain posted for 7 days. In the particular judgment here, court and my home can say, Cheddar ni fie ewo Osu 13th Avenue. Aside from that too, almost posty a graphic it is very popular in Ghana. So Daily Graphic as such, and this particular company have to post this thing for almost 7 days. Cheddar, the lawyers and can't chena you post a pasty unifie. You pasty unifie so when one any they are too graphic. If they are come to seize his hotels, his houses, and his cars. Also, who say the court already gave him prior notice. Remember, I said the time as can lay so at the end of the day, not interest no na air cost. Now in some way by na Cheddar said, you know what? Cheddar said, you know what? I have to explain, and I say, I can explain. And open a car and I say, me go explain what? Patu asma tire. Cheddar Baba Kasa. Now we're releasing a series of videos. This particular series of videos, as always, or Kasa, Kwame Nkrumah, guy, the vision, and one else. But Charlie, this no be joke. This no be joke sake of, the judgment, almost 260 million Ghana cedis. Actually, and yet trade aba catch and the best of be go pay the money. If you think say you don't have to pay any money to also face the people in court. But then Cheddar at the press release be braba. But before I make a press release, no, or release a video or explaining Ghanaians. Okay, and also the fans, Cheddar and the party or say, yeah, any the youth or follow no, so a young below then, or show mo say, munya botre, a mistake, tiki binaba. Inti yengo tie in some Cheddar eka ye baba kam ye be ready and I be pass it through in some okan in terms of the press statement and as the press release or the aba we day yeah the wo ho pa inti I think so the video is ready now. If I could see video yeah babaka, we will definitely continue with this particular update.
Mama watching Ghana man. Na kosi broni kura no. Aben inu be jaye nkwaso msem. Na nka me de nka me fahin na me kodi obi ka 14.9 million. Sika no odi ma ya na e ba Ghana na abeto Bank of Ghana na abeto account na e free na enti obi anso antimi anhwehwe sika koro na wo ka na chikwan. Se free na beto me ho. Na chese muti na kwa me Bediako na abaye amaisem se medika. Na wana mkote nika. Mohwe ma meye. Da amesisi. Se bi se bi ka kro mo kai. So bi kra ti kra unim se. Abofo abon homodi. Enya de a so de ka se ya wontimi ntua. Nemom enya ne nokre. Enti na amama eto na mo se meka. Na nkenya de kra nka me bie ma no wa asem wemu. Nenso se no obi e wo company 50-50. You own this company with a foreigner. And then you both own a debt on the company. How then can one person turn this debt to become my personal debt? And after they hold every single document for the business, which is worth times 4 the debt, you have already a collateral. And you need to discuss with me because I've also paid debt here. Let's talk like business people. But how did it become Nana Kwame Bediako? Oh, it's a company. Companies owe. Ghana, countries, they owe. The Dangotes, they owe. America, they owe. But not to say that I have a debt that I'm running away from. I don't. I have not been handed any money of such. And I have proof. Media, please. How long would you keep destroying your... I mean, the common sense is there. Where is the judgment? Where is the trace of what so-called money that you say I owe from England judgment? Sure? Mumbra. Ghana too, we have laws. We have judges. We have a judiciary system. And so you cannot own a company and then go and take a judgment against your own company without you telling them the truth that you're 50% owner of the company. Then how did you forge those indemnity documents with my signature? So it's like I have borrowed money from you. I haven't. That's the proof. I haven't. And so callers should come and prove to Ghana that they've given me this money. If there's no proof, why you forged documents say judgment debt from your land in Edibabeji or Ghana? Hey, also what about the fire? Sasi waha to move go that say you swear you no man in a call. Some kai say me a campaign no make a chiremo say galamze no and ya dear and yet to say ye pet and a ye. There is more to it, and these are some of the things. The same company that is claiming this judgment debt, I own an oil block with them. Please, maybe some oil block with me shares one. Oh my fa. Now who kwasi broni die so who deep bini ba kokra. O say kura. Who kura papers for the business worth over 60 million of what you're claiming and you inflated. And yet you still want to come for me and come for every single thing I owe. There you. Yeah, yes, this will not happen in Ghana. There is law in this country. I would dictate my own history. and let you remember that there was a man that came and he stood and he fought and he won. My name is Nana Kwame Bediako.
Any piao ye dia to ho eziefo na Kwame Bediako timi se ni abre pay and a black man and a white man and a kwesi broni and wabetu ye good. In fact, you see, maybe it's better you don't even respond, and this is one of them. Regardless, I'm a businessman myself, and I know how things can go sour, especially when you have or own a business with someone. It's Cheddar so Eddie a press release. Buy as our press release it for any other two screens no. It's a bedi can read ni ahwe mu nsem. Nsem be na Cheddar come ewa ha say. It will show her be ne ya which is the Friday January 23rd 2026. Or say, dear all, High Court enforces UK judgment against Cheddar over 14.9 million debt. Legal process still ongoing. My attention has been drawn to a publication in the media, both traditional and social media, about a $14.9 million debt allegedly obtained against me by Cola Holdings. I wish to set the record straight on the facts leading to this judgment. Nana Kwame Bediako chem say enseme ba yesa odika ni ade no. Opeso chem say judgment na yesi ebu against him no. These are the truths. Into ono so ba be cheche ni semu. Ade ye court ye sanka me no say biu ye hia eni cheche mu bia. But anyways, we are here for it. We are here for it. And Shah say or say I wish to set the record straight on the facts leading to this judgment. A. I have not contracted any loan from Cola Holdings Limited, and Cola Holdings Limited has not paid any money to me. The transaction leading to the said judgment is based on a loan contracted by Kensington Residential Partners 1 Limited, KRP, from the International Finance Corporation, IFC. The shareholders of KRP 1 and myself are Mr. Azad Kola, who is the owner of Cola Holdings Limited. Into I say, onkoji loan enfi obia ho. Sa so na onface kan emu bia. Na emum a company bia oni omo ewo business and also omo own shares, sa company ni owner Azad Kola. Into Azad Kola no ono ene the owner of a company from Cola Holdings Limited. B. I was therefore surprised when I was informed that Cola Holdings Limited had commenced an action against me personally in the United Kingdom to recover the loan which was contracted by KRP1 from IFC, whilst I was still in discussions with representatives of KRP1 to ascertain what has truly gone on. I was informed that a date has been set for judgment to be delivered in the UK in respect of that suit. Into Ochemiya, company bia ye friend company bia your friend Kensington Residential Partners. Ochemiya, your friend is saying company bia omo into real estate and in that company no equity loan if the company biwa your friend International Finance Corporation IFC. Number just says our company no mukwaji loan if friend is saying IFC ho and International Finance Corporation ho no. Sa company no mukwaji sa company no one called Mr. Kola and the only share. So this particular company your friend Kensington Residential Partners 1 Limited no one Mr. Kola and no only shares our sa company. Sa company no ekwaji loan if IFC ho which is the International Finance Corporation. Okay, it was set a ho clear. Inti sa company ni kwaji loan na bibi say eba ya at the end of the day tuanya ade be mu no also no kwaji loan e company kwaji loan inti no at the end of the day same way nyina akosoro na o expect sanka e bia ye be omo be kan asem no but ya ne say na court UK judgment aba ye na ba Ghana judgment aba ye nto aso biom. C. I found out later that the lawyers are hired engaged the lawyers of Cola Holdings in the UK did not file any processes in defense to the action. To a purchase the lawyers now or hire mon who says our lawyers no or man file any defense bia and no count the money Lucy. D. I instructed my lawyers in Ghana to resist the enforcement of the judgment in Ghana on grounds that the judgment was obtained by frauds by frauds and its enforcement will be against public policy. And catching the lawyers in Ghana say, "Sa company you are almost own or catching lawyers and they said they can't enforce that particular ruling here in Ghana because Ghana your own set of rules. Now, sa ruling, you know, and as our funds now, sika na almost no price says can only so a fraudulent activity. Or also to us to say, after the High Court judge refused to set aside the registration of the foreign judgment, I've instructed my lawyers in Ghana to file an appeal against the decision. Into price says our case here be no. We're instructing lawyers say see no file appeal because until I say case here akoye oni mushi we lusu esan be lusu o Ghana amaya bejeji ni japade ene niema. Osanso to us say I have also instructed my lawyers to file processes to ensure that the purported judgment from the UK is not enforced pending exhaustion of all appeal processes. And about this, we're catching lawyers and they say UK judgments, no, and what's the enforcing ya bejeji ni bibia o Ghana ha until onwa appeal mana appeal kwesi and sana said you'll be tia with ya. Jane, it is worthy to note that the same Kola Holdings is seeking to enforce the same debt against KRP1 in Ghana. In other words, Kola Holdings is now seeking to execute the judgment for 14.9 million obtained against me from the courts in UK, and at the same time has commenced another action to enforce the same debt against KRP1 in Ghana. That is a clear case of unjust enrichment and an attempt to abuse the court processes by seeking multiple recoveries of the same debt against different persons. No, I say, see, I know, sa kana yebu against or no, sa kana ya sans yebu sa kana ama KRP1 company on it, sa Mr. Kola no mu na e shares ebum. Inti se company nipo akwajiske no mu ntimi ntua. Untimi nji fi company ni ho, and some beji the same money from a shareholder. You have to take it from one person. Now, yes, I'm to ask the other parts. The other part has say, no, or say, H, it is also worthy of note that the Kola Holdings did not disclose to the courts in UK that it has also commenced proceedings to enforce the same debt against KRP1 in Ghana. This is concealment of property of material facts from the court in UK. Facts from the court in UK is the fraudulent misrepresentation which misled the UK to grant the judgment against me. Into a party says, sir, a year judgment here you butian against UK no. Or man can't share UK courts ne say scanning baby GF Cheddar on the sounds where G is the same money from KRP1 company have purportedly no Cheddar was shares a womb. Or say I wish to assume that I wish to assure the general public that I believe in the rule of law and the justice delivery system in Ghana. Okay, I'm certain that after all processes have been exhausted, truth will stand and no amount of machinations or foreigners and their Ghanaian cohorts will derail my efforts to contributing my quota to the development of Ghana and Africa as a whole. Truth will stand. And also we say, baby, and say me do need there. Obe fight here is supposed the truth. Obe fight here, I expose the truth. Now then the day no crabia said ye wo hobia no. Ghana for you be who in sema air the air cost. So that is the issue. Air cost sisia me no ka say Cheddar e dia ba betu ja say what it is oh company be disca on ye ba be season fie ni ade na o chire mu say it is a lie because at the end of the day no sa company no oni omo ewo business and a business no say bi issue aba ho and on ba beji ska fi ni ho na sa company no kra on ba beji ska fi ni ho no loan no mo koje enye no koje loan na fast forward no mo sanje sika na efi company na oni omo own no asanje sika na fi ni nchen. According to Cheddar, sema ekoso said you need engine home. So issue here, Osha acquire very legal issue. And honestly, you can't look at just one side and say obi wini and as obi lose. So I think now what Cheddar will have to do and what we also have to give him is the necessary respect and support because or your Ghana said you what would we gain if Cheddar loses all his properties to a foreigner? They be any possible. So you need the same nature, and we believe at the end of the day, as all of these events continue to unfold, that is the issue air coso right here in this country.